Some of us may think that our gifts aren't always gifts, but perhaps a curse. And, interestingly enough, I want to share with you from this scene the importance of looking at our lives and the blessings we've been given as a gift, even if we can't give them back, according to the main character in that scene. And it's a wonderful image to think that sometimes we would like to give the gifts back that we've been given because we don't always treat them the way we should. We don't always use them in a way that has a positive impact on the world. We don't always open them up every morning and be like, wow, look at all this cool stuff I have. These blessings. I'm not just talking about possessions. I'm talking looking at yourself as an individual. The talents and the intelligence and the gifts God has given you that makes you special. Even on the most base level, the one thing that connects each and every one of us, the fact that we have been given a gift of direct access to our Lord and Savior. How many of us wake up in the morning and be, oh my gosh, that's so awesome. I can open up this gift and I can touch God through prayer or through the Word or through serving another. We have been given gifts, talents, we've been given spiritual gifts, access to our Lord, and we can't give them back. We can't say, gosh, I wish I didn't have a conscience. Although some of us probably do. That's a gift. Guys, realize that? That little voice in your head that tells you when to go right, when to go left, that's a gift. That's not something we can give back. That's something we should be thankful for and grateful for and listen to, you graduates. We have been given a gift. Each of us have been given a gift. And it's up to us to recognize its value and to utilize them for the purpose of praising and celebrating God. That's one of the main questions. There's a catechism called the Westminster Shorter Catechism that if we were all part of the Presbyterian Church, we would have to memorize. Because that's one of their tenets there. And when I went to Princeton Theological Seminary, which is a Presbyterian school, all the other kids had to memorize the Westminster Shorter Catechism. And it's a really long one. And the thing about it is that the first question is the one that to me makes the most sense about our relationship with God, about our purpose in life. And it says, what is the chief end of man? And I think it says humankind now, to be a little bit more politically correct. What is the chief end of humankind? So that we might enjoy God's pleasure. So that we might worship the Lord. Number one purpose. You have been given a gift with direct access to the Lord Almighty, and it's your challenge to wake up every day and to open it up. Like a kid at Christmas. And to be grateful for it. Even sometimes when you open it up and it doesn't reveal what you would have it reveal to you. God is a gift in your life. And He's given you so many other blessings. It's up to us to use them, to glorify Him, to worship Him, and enjoy His good pleasure. Now that's a purpose in life, isn't it? Enjoyment, celebration, rejoice. Gosh, that's so much better than the other things we bog ourselves down with on a regular basis. We have been called to do just that. And the funny thing is that when we think about these gifts that we're giving, when I look at the time of graduation, what that means to an individual, or when I think back to when I graduated, or when you think back to when you graduated from something, whether it was high school, college, or whatever, you look at it as a time of arrival, so to speak. You look at it as the destination, like I've done it, I've achieved it. Now what? Now what do I do? I've worked all my life to get to this point, and all of a sudden it's like, it's over. You climb the top of the mountain, now what do I do? What's the next step? I know there's other things out there, but what am I going to do? How am I going to handle the changes in my life? And I don't care how intelligent you are. I don't care how driven you are. I don't care how motivated you are or how scheduled your life is. Anytime you graduate from anything, there is that like 3 or 4 day period like Dustin Hoffman floating in his parents' pool in the movie The Graduate. Remember that? There's that disillusionment of just laying there going, is this all there is? I figured there'd be more pomp and more circumstance. Now what do I do? Am I ready for what's in store? Well, I'm here to tell all of you guys that each and every one of you, you 3 gentlemen that came up here, the rest of the graduates in the world, and also all of you that are here, you are ready. And you know what you're ready for? To do the chief end of humankind, the number one purpose for our lives, and that is to celebrate and enjoy God's good pleasure, to worship Him with the gifts we've been given. You are all prepared to do that. Each one of you. You are prepared to do that. Not because of your community, not because of your parents, not because of what you learned in algebra or in geometry or in whatever math you graduate with. Not because of all those things, but because God has prepared you for it Himself. He has given you the gifts. He has given you the tools. The means. You are ready. You are ready. Now, when I think back to all the commencement addresses that I heard in my life, I think back to those times where someone, the president of the class, stands up and says, "All right, let's get our eagle's wings out and soar," and the splash the tears and the whole emotional effect. I remember those things, and what I remember feeling at the time was, again, that kind of that disillusionment factor, because it was all about what we've achieved. It was all about what we've done up to this point, and frankly, as soon as you guys get that diploma, no one's going to really care about the fact that you were in the chess club anymore. No one's gonna really look back and say, "Hey, tell me about all those glory days in high school." Trust me, nobody wants to hear it even 20 years after the fact, what you did in high school. Especially then. Those achievements, those things of your life, it's gonna be all summed up, and the question that you're gonna have right then is what's next? So I'm not gonna spend a lot of time this morning talking about looking back. In fact, I'm going to spend most of our time this morning talking about looking forward, because all that stuff that's part of your life, that's not what's going to define you in the next phase of your life. Sure, it's part of who you are. It's part of your experience. It's part of your process of growing up into who you are. But the real question I have for you is, how do you envision yourself in 5 years? And in that period of time, how will you have served the kingdom of God? That's the question I have for you graduates today. In 5 years, how will you have served the kingdom of God? Now, I know what some of you guys are thinking. It's the same things we all thought when we went to college. Is, whoo, Sunday mornings I'm sleeping in. Yes. Don't have to get up and go to church. I'm not talking about, are you going to go to church every Sunday? I'm talking about, how are you going to use those gifts God has given you to impact the world in His name? That's a vision. I'm not talking about graduation GPAs. I'm not talking about colleges, jobs, and stuff like that. I'm talking about bigger stuff, folks. How will you have impacted the world? In 5 years. You know what the beautiful thing about that question is? That's not just a question I'm asking the graduates today. That's the question I'm asking all of you.